What is up, YouTube? This is Juggernaut09 bringing you guys in their video today, and today I'm going to be doing my TNA Impact review for February 13th, 2015. And this was the fallout from LockDown from last week, and this is my first ever TNA Impact review. I'm going to start doing these on Saturdays because I don't have Destination America, and I think I might get it someday in the future, but I just don't have it now, so I have to figure out different ways to watch it. But let's get started with this review. And TNA was in Scotland this week, and they're doing their UK tour right now. So yeah. So to kick off the show, we have a video package showing from last week. You know how Team Angle beat um, the beatdown client. Nothing too special, just showing from last week. People who missed it, they could see what happened. So yeah. But then we actually get into the real show, and it shows a minivan pull up, and the BDC hop out of the minivan, and they're talking with each other, and I like that they all wear the same colors. We don't really get that much more with any tag teams. Like with factions, they don't wear the same colors, which I like that they do that. And they all wear BDC on it. That's cool. But nothing too special. Then we go into the arena. It shows, and we kick off with Kurt Angle in the ring. He calls out Lashley, and he intends for Kurt Angle. He wants a title shot again. So he's going to get the World Championship again. And then the BDC comes out, and MVP says, "Last week you guys didn't win. That wasn't a real win," he pretty much says. Because Lashley wasn't in the match. He wasn't supposed to be in the match. So they set up a match for a tag team match later on the night. So Lashley and Kurt Angle will face two members of the Beatdown Clan. So it's alright segment. Nothing too special about this segment. So yeah. And then next we have Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode. Before they have a match, it shows the backstage. Pretty much showing that they respect each other, but they don't like each other. Like they want to become world champion again. And yeah. So then we actually get to the actual match. It was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed this match. There was this point when Austin Aries went for a suicide dive during the match, and he hits the barricade. Ouch, that looked like that really hurt. There was a lot of good technical wrestling early on in the match, really fast paced. I always like when these two guys wrestle each other. It was just fun match. But Bobby Roode wins the match by a crossface. All right, and then after the match, he cuts a promo. He says that he says that Austin Aries, they're one of the best pro wrestlers I've ever been in the ring with, and he says now that I beat one of the best pro wrestlers, it's time for me to get the TNA World Championship again. So yeah, and then Eric Young comes out and attacks him. He pile drives him, and yeah. And then when Bobby Roode's getting ready to head backstage, he gets attacked again and gets pile drived on the stage. Ouch! Looks like he hurt his head, man. Like, ugh, looked really bad. So, yeah, that was that segment. Okay, next. Also next week they'll be having a like a gauntlet match, 20-man gauntlet match, and the people who are in the top 5 on like the lock something like on the Saturdays for TNA. People who are in the top 5 get to enter last. So yeah, which Kurt Angle is gonna be entering last in next week's gauntlet match, which I think Kurt Angle is gonna win the match. But yeah. And then next we have is Al Snow segment with that guy named Grado, something like that. I can't pronounce his name correctly, but um, it was not really too special thing. I didn't really like the segment. Pretty much. Al Snow eliminated Grado in British Boot Camp Season 2. And pretty much they're setting up for a match next week. They're gonna have a match next week. Nothing too special. But then we have a Crazy Steve versus Bram match. I didn't really like this match. I mean, it was pretty much a squash match. Bram, he got on the mic during the match, and he kept saying, "Magnus, I want to fight you." And he kept saying that, "Magnus, I want to fight you." And, but Bram wins the match by a DDT, I think, so, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he wins the match by DDT. So, yeah, nothing too special. And then next we have is a handicap match, EC3, and Tyrus versus Rockstar Spud, Mandrews, and Jeremy Borash. Nothing too special. EC3 and Tyrus win the match. And then after the match, lights go out. They're trying to shave Rockstar Spud's head, but then lights go out, like I just said. And it's Mr. Anderson. We got the return of Mr. Anderson, which I'm so happy about. He was standing in the middle of Tyrus and EC3. He was slapping their chest, and then he pokes Tyrus in the eye, and I like Mr. Anderson. He's probably one of my favorites in TNA. And, he gives Tyrus a low blow, and then he starts to beat up on EC3. So, yeah, he helps out, managers and Rockstar Spud and Jeremy Borash. So, yeah, alright. Nothing too special. And then next we have is a Master Reign versus Awesome Kong match, which Master Reign, she's cutting a promo, and then she keeps getting interrupted by Awesome Kong. They keep hearing the stomps. Bum. It's the stomps. But Awesome Kong wins the match by the Implant Buster? Yeah, the Implant Buster. She wins the match. That's special. Alright match. And then the next match we have is Matt. Well, it wasn't a match. Sorry. But it was Matt Hardy updating his brother's condition, Jeff Hardy's condition. And Matt Hardy pretty much says, "It's great to be back in Scotland." And he says, "I missed you guys." Then he says, "I wish my brother Jeff could be here right now." Because Jeff loves this professional wrestling so much. He takes amazing risks and made them into a whole bunch of memories, pretty much. And even when Jeff was hurt, I would look down at him and he would hold his thumb up. Or I could see a little small gleam in his eye. And then he said, but this time when he got hurt by James Storm, I didn't see that small gleam in his eye. I saw a whole bunch of nothing in his eyes. And I didn't see his thumb up. And he goes like, James Storm, you did what nobody else could do. You took out my brother. And then the Revolution interrupt him. And James Storm comes out and goes like, "Matt, you alright. I did take out your brother." Pretty much saying, "Hey, you know what? I did what..." let me find that. "I did what Bobby Lashley couldn't do. I did what Bobby Roode couldn't do. Austin Aries, Sting, Kurt Angle. Hell, even The Undertaker couldn't even do what I did." And he says, "I cut down Jeff Hardy." And he says, "Heroes only exist because of the villains, pretty much." And he says, "But in my storybook, the villains always win." And he says, "Matt, I'm going to give you two options. One, you raise your index finger up and you pledge to the Revolution, or you can get a nice little hospital bed by your brother." And Matt Hardy goes like, "Well, hell, you know what? I like my brother's bed," so pretty much, so he tries to beat up on him. beat up on the Revolution, but the Revolution is too much for him to handle, and then Manic does a cross arm breaker on Matt Hardy. So yeah, that was that segment. Actually, there's a lot of segments on the show for some reason. I don't really like when they have a whole bunch of segments, and also Gunner and Austin Aries got taken out by the BDC during the match. I don't got taken out backstage. So yeah, and then next we have is the main event, which was a tag team match: Kurt Angle and Lashley versus MVP and Samoa Joe. It wasn't really too special a match. MVP wins by a roll up. He rolls Kurt Angle up when Kurt Angle had the ankle lock on. I think it was on MVP. Yeah, it was on MVP. And MVP. No, it was on Samoa Joe. It was on Samoa Joe. And then Samoa Joe rolls out of it, and he runs into Lashley, and then Lashley. After the match, it kind of had a stare. Lashley and Kurt Angle kind of had a stare down. Kurt Angle pretty much going like, "Hey, you ruined the match for us." I thought Lashley was going to spear Kurt Angle, or I thought we were going to see oh my God, I thought we were going to see Kurt Angle do something, but they didn't fight. So yeah, next week we're going to be having that 20-man gauntlet match, and whoever wins the match will be fighting Bobby Lashley, not next week, but the week after that for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's going to be good, and I think Kurt Angle is going to win that match. And I don't like how they do previews for the shows. Like they show next week what's happening, because I saw how Kurt Angle threw, I think it was Caval. No, or Loki. Why did it say fucking Caval? I don't know why I just said that. Stop. Well, that was stupid of me. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, this was my TNA Impact review. I'm gonna start doing these more. I don't know why I said that. I meant Loki. But yeah, this is my TNA Impact review, like I just said. Go follow me on Twitter at TheTrueJSB. And this is your first time ever clicking on this channel, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That will help me a lot. So yeah, guys, pretty much all I have to say. And today I'm going to be doing my WrestleMania 18 review, because during the month of February and March I'm going to be reviewing WrestleMania 17 through 30, leading up to WrestleMania 31. And next week I'll be doing my NXT review. I'll be doing my TNA Impact review. I'll be doing my I'll be doing my Fastlane predictions. I'll be doing my Fastlane review. So I got quite a bit of videos to do next week, and I'll be doing my WrestleMania 19 review next week. So stay tuned for those videos that will be coming up in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much all to say. See you guys in my next video. Peace out, guys.